Galamera, Galamera, Galamera. Good morning, good morning, good morning. How are we today? Well, as you can see, today, for all you people, especially over in the UK, today is another delightfully glorious sunny day. The old chickens are having a little peck about in the area. There's Mr. Cockerel there, keeping an eye on his little flock of girls. Again, the weather, absolutely fantastic. Oh, and it's day 14 of the lockdown for us here. And can we believe it's 2 weeks since we went into the lockdown? In some ways, it feels a bit longer. Today is our day out together, Jane and I, where we do our weekly trip to the lovely Lidl to do our shopping. So that's all to look forward to today. Got to be honest, I had to go into town yesterday to go to the bank, and I did notice that guess what, the Christmas trees are going up in town already, and the one in St Marco's Square that's put up by the municipality, they were in the process of putting up the Christmas tree, although I must admit I'm not feeling much Christmas spirit at the moment. Anyway, we shall wait and see. Anyway, let's have a look at the news. There's been a lot going on in the last 24 hours, so I'm going to get straight down to it. Nice to see people are already joining us. Alan Parks at sunny Catterick. I don't know if it's sunny there today or if it's raining today, but the first rule always applies in the weather at Catterick. It's always sunny at Catterick. Anyway, just quick myself round. There we go. You can see me today. My glass is slightly tinted from the sun that we've got here at the moment. Right, today then, as I've already said, it's the 14th day of lockdown. It's the 20th of November. Can you believe it's a Friday? Where has this week gone? I've got to be honest, the weeks does seem to be going quite quickly. Anyway, COVID in the last 24 hours, for those people who are curious. As of yesterday, we had 3,227 new cases of the virus in Greece, which was up on the day before. At the moment, the total amount we've had since the pandemic started has been 85,261. Now, there's been 11 new cases on Corfu, and yesterday they had a reported 15 cases. So Corfu is getting pretty busy at the moment there. Now, interestingly, 8 nuns in the holy monastery of Agios Gemassoia on Kefalonia tested positive for coronavirus. They have all been confined to their cells. The nuns are actually asymptomatic, which with one who showed very mild symptoms of the new virus, and they have been confined to their convent, and the convent also has been disinfected, as they say. As for deaths, 59 new deaths, unfortunately, which was down from yesterday where we had 72, which was a record, I think, at the time, bringing the total amount of deaths to 1,347, and the average age of those people passing are 80. The ICUs now are getting very, very risky at the moment. 480 people in ICUs at the moment, which is a record high. The average age of people in the ICUs is 65. However, it was confirmed yesterday there are 2 27-year-old males in ICUs. One of them is in the 251st General Aviation Hospital, and another is in the University Hospital of Patras. According to the information, both young men had no underlying diseases and were not facing any other health problems. So we're going to keep an eye on those guys, and hopefully they will be all right and pull through. Anyway, as for testing, health authorities have conducted a total of 2,150,954 tests since January 2020, and they have done 125,509 rapid antigen tests as well. Now, testing is obviously a kind of a controversial thing with a lot of the health experts. Some health experts are saying testing should stop. Only people who turn up at hospitals showing signs of the virus should be tested. Just because you test positive, it doesn't mean you have actually got the disease in a dangerous state. There's also been a lot of talk of false positives as well, which have been very high. Or you actually may have had the virus. The virus is now technically dead inside you, but you still have the antigens in your body, and the virus isn't going to go anywhere and is not going to cause any problems to anybody. So again, what it does, it kind of ramps up the fear that there are people, you know, plague-ridden walking among you. But the point is, unless you feel the symptoms and the effects, that is when you should be tested. So it'd be interesting to see, and of course, all the money that's been spent on testing as well, because testing isn't cheap. It might be a case of they need to be more selective in testing. Anyway, due to the critical situation in northern Greece, the Greek government is tightening the restrictions along its northern borders. As of this morning, the border crossing with Albania at Kefalonia was closed. The crossings at Kavir, Evazina and Pokomanikos, I think that's how you say that, they are going to remain open, while only trucks will be allowed to enter through the checkpoint with Bulgaria at Nefathia. All people entering Greece, though, any kind of land borders have to present a negative PCR test form before they're allowed in, and that's got to be done 72 hours before their arrival across the border into the country. Now, another interesting story, which is not COVID related, but you'll be relieved to know, is that the Zakynthos Police yesterday arrested 14 illegal migrants on Vasilikos beach. Yep, the migrants were mainly from Kurdistan, Iran and Turkey. And according to the information that's I've been able to get hold of at the moment, they were probably there to leave by boat to Italy. This is not the first time this has happened. I remember when I lived in Kalamaki, we had a raid take place on an empty restaurant next door to us where there were 20 migrants hidden in there. And the police raided the place and took them all away. Anyway, so it looks like we are still seeing migrants arriving on the island. If you remember, just a couple of weeks ago, a boat was picked up on the offshore of Zakynthos with migrants on board, and that was taken in tow into the other side on the mainland, into Pergamos, and the people were disengaged, and some of them turned out to be dissidents and also Turkish policemen who were escaping from Erdogan's regime over in Turkey mainland. So it is interesting. Anyway, the Zakynthos Police took the 14 into custody yesterday. It said that they will be released with a 30-day deadline to leave the island. Now, how they're going to achieve that, God only knows. But again, that's another story just to keep an eye on at the moment. Also on Wednesday, Ionian Islands teams were continuing their checks to ensure that measures to prevent the spread of coronavirus was being adhered to. There were fines of €300 for not wearing masks, and they were imposed on 2 people in Zakynthos. 9 people in Corfu were done for that, and 2 people in Lefkada were also done for that. And on the same day, people were being fined €300 for movement violations. Basically, they hadn't been booking out on their phones to leave. We had 6 of those violations in Zakynthos. We had 2 in Kefalonia. There was also 1 in Lefkada and 13 in Corfu. So the police are still very hot on checking on people. Anyway, another story that's been going around at the moment. This is from last night. I must stress these are unconfirmed reports at the moment, but it is proposed that the government may allow schools to reopen on December the 7th, followed by the retail sector around about the 14th of December, and finally restaurants around December the 19th or the 21st, but under strict rules. It is unlikely that bars and nightclubs will be open before Christmas. Now, a Greek government spokesman said last night that the plan for easing the lockdown situation will be presented the end of next week, and depending on the situation, it may actually be the week after. So again, they are allowing time, and once again, through this lockdown, more people have got infected, more people have become ill, more people have died than what they did on the first round, to be honest. So we're waiting to see if it's all going to go back to normal. However, I doubt it at the moment. Anyway, the highest administrative court, another story not related to COVID, the highest administrative court in Greece, the Council of State, or the COS as it's called, ruled yesterday that the Greek police's ban on rallies ahead of the anniversary of the 1973 Polytechnic student uprising on November the 17th was justified for public interest and for the protection of public health. Now, with this ruling, the court rejected the appeals submitted by the Mira 25 party, which is Varoufakis's party, the former finance minister of Greece, who's now a bit of a pundit on Channel 5. I do like listening to him, I've got to be honest. Human rights groups and other citizens had obviously appealed for the ban to be lifted. The court had previously also dismissed an urgent injunction filed by the same plaintiffs ahead of the Polytechnic March, basically on the day it was taking place. Now, the Zakynthos Workers' Union also raised an objection for the ban locally, with a delegation who proceeded to protest and deliver a resolution to the Greek president and the government to an objection to the ban. The petition actually, which you can actually see online at Hermes and also at the other newspaper, the name has escaped me at the moment. But anyway, it was a petition of hundreds of signatures from representatives of trade unions here, large organisations, local lawyers, journalists, MPs, and even a local actor. I didn't know we had a local actor here. They all condemned the authoritarian decision of the government. The court decided that the measure in question was indeed strict but necessary for the protection of the public's health due to urgent reasons. Anyway, the judges also noted that the ban is completely temporary and, in view of the Pacific situation, a reasonable duration. The thing that was, I think, annoying was that I think a lot of people said, I think, this is me personally, there are a lot of people fined who shouldn't have been fined, like the lady who was fined €300 for just laying a flower at the door of the Polytechnic by overzealous police. There are also reports of police brutality throughout the lockdown, through the demonstration as well, over heavy-handedness and over thingy. So I think at least that woman should not have to pay that €300 fine. But I think with this injunction, it just definitely means that the force of the law will be applied on those people taking part. So anyway, we'll keep an eye on that and we'll see if anything else comes out in the media in reference to that. And I've got a nice happy story for you, which involves kittens, all right, and cats, all right. The president of Greece, Katrina, I'll see if I get her name right, Katrina Skalopoulou, has adopted a rescue kitten named Calypso from the animal welfare at Karpathos. The Animal Welfare Karpathos president, Sophia Hirias-Mikros, met the president at the presidential hall in Athens, where she delivered Calypso safely. The Greek president had recently celebrated the 76th celebrations for the island's independence, and during her visit she had met two representatives of the animal welfare, which coincided with World Animal Day, which was on the 4th of October, and now she's got a little kitten. Bless her, and he looks a little cutie as well, Calypso. Anyway, so that's the news for this morning. Let's have a quick look, see who's tuning in. We've got quite a few familiar names and faces in. Got to say hello to Hilary Rogers. Lovely to have you tuning in. She lives here on the island. We also got Denise Tyndall also tuning in. Nice to see you as well. Alan Parks is watching up there in what is normally a sunny Catterick, no matter what the weather is. Philip Ellis is also tuning in. Nice to have you there, buddy. Another ex-RAF Reg buddy. Al Parks says, good morning, Ginge. Good morning, Gunner. Have a good day. No sun, dull and miserable. Don't know about the weather. Oh, he's dull and miserable, but he doesn't know about the weather. Oh, bless him. He must be bored on his lockdown. Graham Chisholm is also watching. RAF Reg Gunner. John Davis, I think another RAF Reg Gunner, tuning in as well. Nice to see you. Bob Cave over there in Oxford. Nice to see you tuning in as well. Bob Cave says, morning, Gin. 1 degree here. It's only 1 degree in Oxford. Oh, I'm feeling cold already. Heather Flynn is also watching. Nice to see you, Heather. Gary Butler is also tuning in. Nice to see you, Gaz. I hope you're doing all right. Hilary Rogers, he says, wonder if the migrants were COVID tested. I knew somebody would ask that question. I wonder if they were. Probably, I think they probably would have tested them, although the media hasn't said they would. You think as a matter of course they would have tested them. I think COVID would have been the least of their worries. I think they probably could be carrying other diseases. You never know. Also, Christine Coldwell is looking in as well from, was it a sunny Leighton Buzzard today? Nice to have you looking in, my lovely. Steve Hinkling is also tuning in as well from Stoke-on-Trent. I'm not sure if it's sunny in Stoke-on-Trent today. Kev Bell is watching as well. Julie Ansell is watching. Linda Gary. Hello, Linda. Thank you for the birthday video clip for Jane. She greatly appreciated that. Thought it was very funny. Gail Marsden is also watching as well. Somebody in Greek, Maria, I think. Somebody, I can't make out the surname, is watching as well. Steve Hinkling, he says, Gallimera, heat wave in Stoke. And then he says, I wish. Bless him. Oh, the winter is here. Right, that's it, I think, from everybody looking in at the moment. Just to remind you that today is a broadcast day from me, 2 hours, maybe a bit longer, depending on how I feel, of music. Just to let you know that the show number 11 has moved up in the charts. I was really chuffed about this. It went up, literally, it went up in the charts 5 hours, literally, after it was uploaded, after all the hassle with the internet. And the internet at the moment today seems to be running absolutely mightily fine. It went in the pop chart at 46, and it went in at number 99 in the pop chart. It's now at number 46. In the reggae chart, it went in at number 43. It's now at number 13, and it's a new entry this week at number 64 in the soul chart. So if you want to come and join us today, 3 o'clock your time, 5 o'clock my time, 2 hours, come and join us on Twitch and also on Mixcloud and also Facebook, for as long as they'll let the show stay up before they always take it down and block it. But that's your indication that I'm actually broadcasting. When it starts to appear on there, pop into Twitch or into Mixcloud, where you can see the pictures, hear the music. And don't forget, on Mixcloud, it is stored straight away. It'll go up online. You can listen back to it as an audio recording. And also as well, on Twitch, it gets stored up there for 60 days, but some of the music is partially muted, but you still see the video image. And Gail Marsden has just said to me, morning, wet and windy in Yorkshire, nothing new there. Thank you, Gail. Right, that's it from me. You have a great day. I'm getting ready to go shopping today. That's our weekly excitement of a day out, or of a day out together. And you have a good time wherever you are. You take care and have a good one. Catch you later. Ta-ra.